16 eye-catching varieties of hardy geranium. If you want to stump your horticulturally savvy friends, grow a lesser-known geranium variety like the G. wallichianum, Buxton blue, also known as Buxton's variety. It flowers in early summer, often producing a second, lesser flush of blooms in early fall. Place the small plants in your container garden, where you can observe the detail of the white eye up close. Watch out for slugs, which love geraniums, especially ones grown in shadier locales. Handpick slugs in the morning, or set out beer traps. Rozanne is a hybrid geranium cultivar that was named the 2008 Perennial Plant of the Year. Rozanne is a trademarked name, the cultivar name is Gerwat. This plant is responsible for shining the spotlight on hardy geraniums in general and caused a resurgence of interest in their role in the garden. Patricia is another hybrid cretin, this one a cross between Geranium endracea and G. xylostemon. While the trailing and mounding types of hardy geraniums have their place at the border's edge, some situations call for a taller plant. Patricia, hardy geraniums are taller than most, reaching a height of about 30 inches. Plant them alongside ornamental grasses or baby's breath for a breezy garden effect. A dwarf cranesbill such as Carol breathes life into crevices and other difficult-to-plant pockets in the garden in late spring and summer with wine-colored flowers and grayish-green foliage. Carol also makes a rock wall into a vertical garden when you plant small divisions between gaps. Water this living wall thoroughly the first season until plants establish a deep root system. One aspect of geraniums that turn many gardeners off is their habit of self-seeding all over the garden. However, Plenum geraniums are sterile, so they stay where you put them. If you do fall in love with their double violet flowers and tolerance of many growing conditions, you can propagate them by division in the spring. In contrast to the many sprawling hardy geraniums available, Stephanie produces a very compact plant that perks up the late spring border. The blue flowers with deep purple veins are very showy when paired with white flowers like sweet alyssum or phlox. Discovered at the Royal Botanical Garden in Scotland, this plant may be a cross between Geranium peloponnesiacum and G. renardi. In addition to its unusual name, this geranium stands apart from others due to its aromatic leaves, which release fragrant oils when crushed. Walter Ingwersen probably didn't notice this feature immediately when he discovered it growing on a mountainside in Yugoslavia in 1929, but its stunning amethyst buds and contrasting pale pink flowers surely caught his eye. One of the first of the popular hardy geraniums, Jossen's blue, remains a favorite, and for good reason. Spreading mounds of sharply cut leaves produce sky blue flowers from spring through midsummer. This plant requires very little care and is virtually free of pest and disease problems. The magenta blossoms of Elsbeth geraniums pop against healthy green foliage at the front of the border. These cultivar of bloody geranium, G. sanguineum, produces a large flush of blooms in June, and a smaller repeat blooming occurs in September. Provide plants with rich, well-drained soil and 3 inches of mulch to keep the roots cool and moist. We gardeners can never have too many white flowers, and the deeply divided foliage of Geranium Alba only increases the ornamental value of this plant. This geranium appreciates soil with excellent drainage and will shine in your rock garden. Shear the plants when blooms fade to keep it tidy. This is quite a large plant for a geranium, and it does not tolerate frost. Dark, moody foliage is very on trend in the landscape, and this seldom seen variety will turn heads in your summer garden. Lavender flowers bloom in May and June. Native to woodland areas, Espresso geraniums prefer more moisture than other hardy geraniums, and also tolerate more shade than other varieties. Keep Espresso geraniums mulched, but don't mulch the crowns of the plants, which can cause rot. Geranium pratense, summer skies, is the antidote to the ordinary bloody cranesbill plant that some gardeners find a bit on the weedy side. Double flowers with veining appear in late spring and continue for several weeks in hot areas or throughout the season in cooler regions. Flowers of summer skies last longer in sites with afternoon shade. Splish-splash brings a level of novelty to the cranesbill group that appeals to many gardeners. Every petal features a different pattern of flecks and specks that endure for several weeks in summer. Shear the plants back when blooming slows for a repeat show in early fall. For maximum effect in the garden design, add a companion planting that emphasizes one of the two colors of Splish-splash, like Blue Hill, Meadow Sage or Candytuft. Also known as Morning Widow Geranium, springtime, hardy geraniums sport deep burgundy spring flowers held aloft on wiry stems. Leaves emerge with a variegated pattern but eventually settle into a green tone in the summer. And Folkard geraniums spread generously in the garden, weaving bright green foliage and purple flowers with neighboring plants to fill in all gaps in the summer border. Plant beside a silvery artemisia for a contrasting cloud of beauty. And Folkard is a hybrid cross between G. procerens and G. xylostemon. As is the case with many hybrid plants, Sirak geraniums are consistent and reliable garden performers. June and July bring violet flowers with dark veining and a white blotch that make them interesting cut flowers. The plant often reblooms if it is sheared back after the first blooms fade. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.